The forests of Central Africa are some of the richest in the world, home to a huge diversity of plant and animal life. Here, as in many other forested regions of the world, trees make a major contribution to food security. They provide a wide range of nutritious foods to more than 1 billion people. With 870 million people in the world experiencing food insecurity, and the commitment of the Millennium Development Goal of reducing hunger by half by 2015, the contribution made by forests and trees to food security and nutrition deserves urgent consideration.
Government and policymakers have for a long time overlooked the important contribution forests and trees can make in order to improve food security and nutrition. And now it is about time to do something.
It's early morning in the village of Esson in central Cameroon, and Patrice Mvezo'o is heading out hunting into the surrounding tropical forest. When his father used to hunt here, he might return with 4 animals in one day. These days, Patrice is lucky to find 1. Today, there's a dead porcupine in one of his traps. Usually, he'd bring it back for his parents and 14 brothers and sisters to eat. But the family has run out of other basic needs, so today he's selling the animal to one of his regular customers. Here in Central Africa, bushmeat provides between 30 and 80% of the protein intake of rural households. While the forests here are not as rich as they once were, they are still a critical source of protein as well as income.
Pour vendre le gibier, quand il y en a beaucoup, je vends, j'ai un peu d'argent que je peux encore acheter d'autres choses comme la chaussure, la babouche est coupée, l'habit est déchiré.
It's important that hunting is better regulated, so that future generations will have meat from the forest to eat. And it's not only meat these forests provide. Another popular source of protein is edible insects. Insects are eaten not only in Africa, but in many parts of the world, and have even begun to appear on menus in a few European and American restaurants. Here in the village of Zheng, it's the grasshopper season. Women are collecting the insects from the surrounding forests to prepare a protein-packed meal. Thanks to the forest, they have both the insects and the firewood needed to cook them.
Je vois que les insectes sont bons parce que quand on n'a pas encore eu les reproduits des champs, ça va nous aider à vivre. Comme ça, on prépare, on mange. L'autre, on peut vendre. Donc ça nous aide vraiment, les insectes.
It's already mid-March, so the height of the season has passed. But during January and February, one woman may collect 4 water bottles full of grasshoppers in one day, which she will sell for the equivalent of 15 euros. The women here are also collecting edible Milliennium leaves from the forest and the trees on their farms. The leaves are an excellent source of vitamins. Some are eaten, while the rest are sold to wholesalers or directly at the local market.
L'argent que je gagne ici m'aide à nourrir mes enfants et l'argent du déjeuner quand leur père n'a pas de travail.
More than 90% of the sellers of forest produce are women. They use their money for school fees, other staple foods and medicine. The role of women is very important, since they are responsible for ensuring that there is food on the table to feed the family. So, by benefiting women, forests and agroforests have a direct impact on food security. And while most of these women are just trying to make enough to sustain their families, a few have succeeded in building profitable businesses.
Ça c'est le mbitakola. Ça c'est le poivre noir. Ça c'est les mangues sauvages. Et l'ensemble de tout ça m'a aidé vraiment à faire mon vrai business avec, parce que ça fait depuis 15 ans que je suis dans ce business. Et ça m'a permis vraiment d'envoyer même les enfants en Europe. Tout ça a construit la maison que nous habitons avec mon mari. C'est tout ça qui nous aide, vraiment.
Rose and her associate, Abdou Nji, travel to hundreds of remote villages around Cameroon, collecting their stock. There is a big market, both domestically and in the surrounding region for forest produce. A large percentage of their produce is sold to Nigerian buyers. Here, at the port of Idenau, the nyetum leaves are being bundled into bags for packing onto Nigerian boats for a weekly shipment to Nigeria. The market for Cameroon's 5 most important non-timber forest products is worth some $34 million, while both directly and indirectly it creates close to 300,000 jobs. While the government does have a national forest management plan in place, better enforcement of regulations is needed, as well as a greater commitment to combat corruption to ensure the forest is sustainable, managed, and can continue to provide for local populations.
We are getting quite a lot of pressure on timber forest products, on non-wood forest products from within Cameroon, from within Africa and from outside. At first we didn't have a lot of pressure from Asia, but I would say that Asia is one of the biggest markets that we have now. And so to say that the pressure on resources is increasing, and that's why we got to sit up as well to manage our forests sustainably. Otherwise, in the near future, we are losing everything.
The tropical forests of Central Africa also benefit food security in indirect ways. When they grow, trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to reduce climate change. Climate change can put local food production and livelihoods at risk. Trees also help prevent soil erosion and reduce the risk of landslides. Forests also play a key role in the water cycle. A huge amount of water vapour evaporates from the forest, irrigating farmlands when it falls back to earth as rain. The trees capture this rainwater and the process begins again. Forests also enable water to slowly filter into the ground, charging the water tables and enabling local communities to have drinking water most of the year. Few understand better the value of forests than those living in areas where the forests have started to disappear. Here, close to the town of Bafia, logging and slash-and-burn agriculture has led to deforestation and forest degradation. The result is less water and fewer products from the forests.
Bibio, babe, yiribibio, J, yiribibio, zoom, yiribibio. Nibiombi, Babala Kaleba, Simbis, Bake, Bicho, Bawi, Biombi, Ibasui, Ribio, Bafaba Jabis, Balan Lab, City Didi.
To ensure Ngon Andre's 18 grandchildren will be able to continue to sustain themselves from the forest, the local people must obtain secure access to their forest resources through regulated and locally enforced use and management rights.
Policymakers and government should improve access to forest resources, especially to women. They also should promote small and medium forest-based enterprises by increasing their capacity and also access to financial resources. Also, they should be more sensitized to include forests and trees into their poverty reduction and food security strategies.
The more information is recorded and made available by national forest agencies and statistical bureaus about the contribution made by trees to food security, the easier it will be to sensitize decision makers to their importance. After all, forests and trees on farmland contribute to the food security of millions of people around the globe, which is why a growing number of countries around the world are realizing that sustainable management of these resources is key to ensuring the food security and nutrition of current and future generations.